If tomorrow the Earth entered a new ice age, or if humanity were forced to abandon the planet because its resources had been exhausted, among the very few technologies we would carry with us, there would almost certainly be a quinoa seed. That may sound strange, but when you examine it from an engineer's perspective, not a culinary one, you begin to see quinoa less as a grain and more as a fully integrated survival module. Each quinoa seed is an optimized blueprint, refined through more than 5,000 years of evolution in one of South America's harshest environments. It possesses a chemical defense system, a compressed nutritional architecture, the ability to operate in extreme conditions, and remarkable ecological efficiency. We call it a superfood. But from a technical standpoint, quinoa resembles an ancient technology built not for flavor, but for survival when every other system fails. Now imagine a natural laboratory designed to simulate catastrophe. Daytime 25 degrees Celsius under relentless sunlight, with ultraviolet radiation twice as intense as in lowland regions. Nighttime temperatures plunge to 8 degrees Celsius, cold enough to crystallize water inside the cells of many plants. Soil salina. Nutrient poor. Structurally unstable. Rainfall minimal, just 200–400 millimeters per year. Equivalent to semi-desert conditions. This is the Altiplano, the high plateau of Bolivia and Peru, where quinoa does not merely survive but operates like equipment specifically engineered for environmental extremity. If wheat or corn are fragile biological systems dependent on stable temperatures and moderate moisture, then quinoa is military-grade hardware, functioning in what could be described as an energy desert. Its adaptive mechanisms include flexible photosynthetic regulation, minimizing water loss when temperatures rise while optimizing CO2 absorption in thin, high-altitude air, salt tolerance. Many quinoa varieties absorb saline ions without suppressing growth, a feature rarely found in conventional food crops. Deep and highly branched root architecture optimized for poor soils. Functioning like a distributed sensor network that detects and extracts scarce minerals, quinoa passes extreme environmental testing not by chance, but through biochemical engineering reinforced over thousands of years. Its bitterness is not a flaw, it is an intricate biosecurity architecture, designed to repel intrusion long before the seed has a chance to germinate. The layer of saponins coating the seed acts like a molecular force field. Each amphipathic glycoside molecule can bind to the lipid membranes of fungi, bacteria, and insects, disrupting their cellular integrity upon contact. The mechanism resembles a breach forming in the hull of a spacecraft once compromised. Internal life can no longer maintain stability, but this protective armor does more than deter predators. It also limits mold and microbial growth during the cold, humid nights of the Altiplano, allowing the seed to endure for extended periods without human preservation. When we rinse quinoa, we are, in essence, intervening in its security system through an act of biological decryption. The steady flow of water washes away saponin molecules, neutralizing the seed's defensive coating without damaging its internal nutritional architecture. This is a rare form of biological hacking, one in which humans, perhaps unknowingly, learn how to disable nature's evolutionary technology without fully realizing what they are doing. It is precisely because of this protective armor that quinoa has survived through thousands of generations of birds, insects, and unpredictable weather. It stands as evidence that any seed hoping to endure across time must equip itself with its own defense mechanism. If we were to dismantle a quinoa seed the way we might disassemble a high-precision technological device, we would discover an optimally compressed architecture unlike that of any common staple crop. The starchy core functions as an energy reservoir, surrounded by a germ rich in protein, lipids, and enzymes, much like a central processing unit, CPU positioned adjacent to its power supply to minimize energy loss. Within this germ, quinoa contains all 9 essential amino acids, explaining why it is considered a complete protein system, a feature that rice, corn, and wheat do not naturally possess. Its dense concentrations of magnesium, iron, and zinc enhance the body's metabolic efficiency, similar to optimizing a power circuit to improve device performance. Notably, quinoa's carbohydrate structure naturally carries a low glycemic index, GI. It releases energy slowly and steadily, preventing sudden blood sugar spikes, operating much like lithium iron phosphate, LFP batteries with stable discharge rates that avoid system overload. A quinoa seed, therefore, resembles a compact nutritional module densely packed with information and energy, engineered to near perfection, small, lightweight, multifunctional, and ready to activate life the moment conditions allow. NASA did not select quinoa because it was a health trend. It was chosen because it meets the stringent requirements of a space survival system: stable photosynthetic efficiency under low pressure, short life cycles, continuous oxygen production, and high nutritional density per minimal surface area. In the closed habitats of space where every square meter must be optimized, like the motherboard of a supercomputer, quinoa becomes a nearly ideal candidate. It requires relatively little water, can grow in hydroponic or aeroponic systems, and maintain stable yields even under artificial lighting that replaces sunlight. Imagine an ecological module on Mars, rotating cylindrical racks illuminated by red and blue LEDs, with quinoa plants standing upright in growth media, absorbing carbon dioxide from astronauts and returning oxygen like an automated atmospheric regeneration system. In resource-limited environments, a crop capable of delivering complete protein, essential minerals, and sustainable carbohydrates becomes a form of core technology for interplanetary settlement. Quinoa, already tested by nature in the harsh highlands of the Andes, simply transitions into another extreme environment, this time Mars. The reason quinoa is expensive does not lie in marketing or commercial branding. It lies in geography and production methods that are nearly impossible to automate. Quinoa fields are often located on mountain slopes, inclined up to 45 degrees terrains where harvesting machinery fails and trucks cannot reach. The entire process of cultivation, harvesting, and seed processing still relies heavily on human labor. Much like the meticulous hand assembly of delicate components in Swiss watchmaking workshops, every sack of quinoa represents hours of resilient work in thin air, under intense daytime sun and freezing nighttime cold, an energetic cost that modern machinery cannot easily replace. Furthermore, the saponin layer must be removed through washing and abrasion processes that require infrastructure many growing regions lack. As a result, quinoa embodies the nature of a proprietary technology shaped by specific environments, preserved through traditional expertise, and sustained by a labor ecosystem that cannot be replicated elsewhere. When you pay for quinoa, you are not merely paying for a grain. You are paying for an entire operating system from terrain and climate to human hands, the most enduring technology that nature and humanity have co-developed over thousands of years.